The Lost Dog. Jaden Thompson was the kind of teenager any mother would be proud of. At 16 years old, he was responsible, hardworking, and excelling in school. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, Jaden lived with his mother, Denise Thompson, in a small two-bedroom house that was filled with memories and love. Although the neighborhood wasn't the fanciest, it was a safe haven for them, a place where they could create their own happiness despite the struggles they faced. The walls of their home were adorned with framed photos that told the story of their lives. There was a picture of Jaden as a baby, giggling in his mother's arms. Another of him on his first day of school, proudly holding his backpack, full of hope and excitement. The shelves held a few of his school awards, each one a testament to the hard work he had put in. Every little achievement meant the world to Denise, a reflection of her dedication and sacrifice as a single mother. Life hadn't always been easy for the Thompsons. Jaden's father had walked out on them when Jaden was just a toddler, leaving Denise to raise him alone. She worked long hours as a nurse's aide at the local hospital, her days filled with the demanding needs of her patients. Despite the long hours and tiring shifts, Denise always made sure to be home for dinner and to help Jaden with his homework. Money was tight, and to contribute, Jaden took a part-time job at the grocery store down the street. It wasn't much, but every little bit helped, and Jaden was determined to do his part. Jaden was an exceptional student with dreams of going to college one day. His favorite subjects were math and science, and he spent countless hours studying, fueled by the hope of a brighter future. After school, he would often linger in the library, diving into textbooks, solving complex equations, and dreaming about inventions that could change the world. But it wasn't all academics for Jaden. He also had a heart for his community. Whenever he could, he volunteered at the local animal shelter, finding joy in caring for the neglected and abandoned animals that came through the doors. One sunny afternoon, on his way home from school, Jaden noticed a commotion near the park. A small crowd had gathered around something, and his curiosity piqued. As he got closer, he realized it was a lost dog, frantically running in circles, barking and whining as if it was desperately trying to find its owner. The dog was a fluffy golden retriever, its fur glistening in the sunlight, but it was clearly frightened and confused. Without a second thought, Jaden knelt down and called to the dog, hoping to coax it toward him. "Hey there, buddy. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." He extended his hand, palm facing up, allowing the dog to sniff him. Gradually, the dog approached, wagging its tail hesitantly. Jaden smiled, feeling a sense of connection with the lost animal. He could see the fear in its eyes, and he wanted to help. After a few moments of gentle coaxing, the golden retriever finally came to him. Jaden secured a loose leash that had been lying on the ground nearby and felt a surge of determination. "I'm going to help you find your owner," he said softly, as if the dog could understand him. Jaden spent the next hour asking around the park if anyone recognized the dog. No one did. However, he did meet a kind woman who suggested he check the local shelters or post on social media to spread the word. Inspired by her suggestion, Jaden took a photo of the dog and posted it online, tagging local lost and found pet groups. He also made a few flyers, determined to find the owner. By the time he returned home, the sun had begun to set, casting a warm glow across the neighborhood. As he entered the house, his mother was in the kitchen, preparing dinner. The smell of spaghetti filled the air, and Jaden felt a sense of comfort wash over him. He shared the story of the lost dog, showing her the flyer he had made. "Oh, Jaden, that's so sweet of you," Denise exclaimed, pride shining in her eyes. "You're really going out of your way to help that poor thing. I'm sure its owner will be so grateful." "I hope so, Mom. I can't imagine how scared it must be," Jaden replied, his heart heavy with empathy for the lost dog. After dinner, Jaden decided to take the dog for a walk around the neighborhood, hoping that the fresh air would calm its nerves. As they strolled, the dog seemed to relax, its tail wagging, and occasionally nudging Jaden's hand for affection. He named the dog Lucky, feeling that it was a fitting name for a pup that had found its way into his life. When they returned home, Jayden set up a cozy spot in the living room for Lucky, complete with a blanket and some water. He stayed up late, scrolling through social media, checking for any responses about the lost dog. Hours passed, but there was no news. Finally, he fell asleep on the couch, exhausted but hopeful. The next morning, Jayden awoke to the sound of his phone buzzing. He rubbed his eyes and groggily reached for it, noticing several notifications. As he read through the comments on his post, his heart leaped with joy. A local man named Mr. Lawson had seen the post and recognized the dog as his beloved pet, Daisy, who had gone missing the previous week. Mr. Lawson had offered a reward for her safe return. Filled with excitement, Jayden quickly texted Mr. Lawson to arrange a meeting. He felt a surge of pride. He was about to reunite Daisy with her owner. However, as he prepared to head out, there was an unexpected knock on the door. Curious, Jayden opened the door, only to be greeted by a stern-looking police officer. "Good morning, young man. May I come in?" the officer asked, his tone serious. Sure," Jayden stammered, stepping aside to let the officer in. "Is everything okay?" "I need to ask you some questions about a lost dog," the officer said, eyeing Lucky, who was playfully wagging its tail in the background. Jayden's heart raced. Why was the police involved? What could possibly be wrong? He thought of all the good he had done for Daisy and how he had only wanted to help. But as he looked at the officer, he knew he had to stay calm and explain everything. "Officer, I found this dog yesterday at the park," Jayden said, his voice steady but nervous. "I posted online to find her owner, and I just got a message from Mr. Lawson. We were going to meet up today." The officer narrowed his eyes, clearly not convinced. "You understand that dogs can sometimes be stolen, right? I need to verify your story." Jayden felt a pit in his stomach. How could he convince this officer of his innocence? As the officer continued to question him, Jayden realized this unexpected visit was not just a simple inquiry. It was the beginning of a complicated journey that would challenge his integrity and his spirit. A path to reunion. Denise Thompson, Jayden's mother, was a woman of unwavering strength. The years of raising her son alone had forged a deep bond between them, and she knew every detail of Jayden's life, from his dreams of becoming an engineer to his kindness in helping those around him. As Jayden entered the kitchen, the familiar sight of her bustling around their modest home brought him a sense of warmth. "What's this about a dog, Jayden?" Denise asked, stirring the sauce in the pot, her brow raised in curiosity. "I found a lost dog at the park today," Jayden explained, his voice filled with excitement. "He was so scared, Mom. I couldn't just leave him there. I posted on social media and made some flyers. I'm going to do everything I can to find his owner." Denise turned around, wiping her hands on a dish towel, her face beaming with pride. "You have such a big heart, honey. I'm proud of you for taking the time to help that poor creature." Jayden smiled, feeling a sense of validation. "Thanks, Mom. I just couldn't imagine being lost like that. I hope someone sees the post and claims him soon." After dinner, they sat together on the couch, the soft glow of the lamp illuminating the small living room, filled with framed photos and knickknacks. Jayden checked his phone, anxiously hoping for any updates. To his delight, he saw several likes and comments on his post, encouraging him that someone might recognize the dog. "Maybe we should name him until we find his owner," Denise suggested, playfully running her fingers through her son's hair. "What about Buddy? Or maybe Max?" Jayden chuckled. "How about Goldie? It fits his color, and it sounds friendly." "Goldie it is," Denise declared, laughing at the thought of naming a dog that wasn't even theirs. "But remember, we can't keep him. We have to find his family first." They both agreed to take care of Goldie until the rightful owner came forward. Jayden spent the evening playing with the dog, throwing a tennis ball around in the small backyard. Goldie eagerly chased after it, barking happily, and Jayden felt a sense of purpose. As the night wore on, Jayden couldn't shake the feeling of excitement mixed with apprehension. What if no one came to claim Goldie? Would they have to take him to a shelter? Jayden had grown attached to the golden retriever, and the thought of losing him was disheartening. The following morning, Jayden woke up early, the sunlight streaming through his bedroom window, warming the room. Goldie was sprawled across the floor, his golden fur catching the light. Jayden stretched, trying to shake off the sleepiness, and decided to take Goldie for a morning walk. As they strolled through the neighborhood, Jayden couldn't help but notice how people reacted to Goldie. Neighbors waved, children smiled, and some even approached to pet the dog. Jayden felt a surge of joy as he realized how a simple act of kindness had brought happiness to those around him. It was a beautiful morning, and Jayden cherished the moments of connection with the people he had grown up with. They returned home after their walk, and Jayden took a moment to check his phone again. His heart sank when he saw no new messages about Goldie. Just then, the doorbell rang, cutting through the silence. Jayden's stomach tightened with anticipation. Who could it be? He opened the door to find a tall man in a tailored suit standing on the porch. The man had an air of authority about him, and Jayden immediately felt intimidated. "Hello, young man. My name is Mr. Lawson," the man said, his voice firm yet calm. "I'm looking for a golden retriever. I believe he might be in your possession." Jayden's heart raced. "You mean Goldie? Is he your dog?" Mr. Lawson nodded, a relieved expression washing over his face. "Yes, he is. He ran away yesterday. Thank you for finding him. I was worried sick." Jayden's shoulders relaxed as he opened the door wider. "I've been taking care of him. I posted on social media to help find you." "I can't express how grateful I am," Mr. Lawson said, stepping inside. "Goldie is my son's best friend. They've been inseparable since we adopted him." Before Jayden could respond, he noticed something in Mr. Lawson's demeanor. The man had a certain elegance, but his expression turned serious. "I need to ask, though, you didn't take him from my yard, did you?" Jayden's heart raced again, fear creeping in. "No, I found him running in the park. I swear I didn't take him from anywhere." Just then, a police officer appeared at the door, his uniform crisp and his expression unreadable. Jayden's breath caught in his throat. "Is everything okay here?" the officer asked, looking between Mr. Lawson and Jayden. The tension in the room escalated, and Jayden could feel his palms sweating. "I found Goldie," he stammered, trying to explain. "He was lost, and I was just trying to return him to his owner." Mr. Lawson nodded vigorously. "He's telling the truth, officer. This young man found my dog and was caring for him. I'm just relieved to have Goldie back." The officer's stern expression softened slightly. "I see, but it's important to ensure that all pets are returned properly. We've had reports of pets going missing in the area recently." Jayden felt a wave of panic wash over him. Why was this happening? All he had done was help a lost dog. Mr. Lawson placed a hand on Jayden's shoulder. "You did the right thing, son. Let's clear this up quickly." As the officer began to ask questions, Jayden's heart pounded in his chest. He had never been in a situation like this before, and he felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. Would they think he was a thief? Would they believe that he had found Goldie and not stolen him? As the conversation continued, Jayden realized that honesty was his best ally. He recounted the events leading up to finding Goldie, detailing his search for the owner and how he had tried to care for the dog in the meantime. Mr. Lawson backed him up, confirming every detail and expressing gratitude for Jayden's kindness. As the officer listened, Jayden began to feel a sense of relief. It seemed that the officer was starting to understand. "All right," the officer finally said, his tone shifting to one of understanding. "As long as we can confirm the ownership, I think everything will be fine. Let's just make sure we have all the necessary information documented." With that, the tension in the room eased. Jayden felt a weight lifted from his shoulders, and as the officer completed his report, he couldn't help but glance at Goldie, who was wagging his tail, blissfully unaware of the chaos that had ensued over his unexpected adventure. The unexpected visit had turned into a lesson for Jayden. He learned the importance of standing up for himself and the value of honesty in difficult situations. But more importantly, he felt a sense of camaraderie with Mr. Lawson, who had become an unexpected ally in the quest to reunite a lost dog with its family. As the officer left, Mr. Lawson smiled at Jayden. "You have a good heart, son. It's rare to find someone so willing to help others these days. Thank you for everything you did for Goldie." With that, Mr. Lawson bent down and scratched Goldie behind the ears. The dog responded with a happy bark, jumping up to give the man a joyful greeting. Jayden watched with a smile, knowing that he had made a difference in both Goldie's life and the lives of his owners. "Can I come by to check on Goldie sometimes?" Jayden asked, feeling a connection to the dog that he didn't want to lose. "Of course. You're always welcome to visit," Mr. Lawson replied. "We'll definitely have to set up some playdates for Goldie and you. It's not every day a dog gets found by a hero." As Jayden watched Mr. Lawson and Goldie leave, he felt a mix of emotions. While he was sad to see the dog go, he was grateful for the experience and the lessons learned. Little did he know, this encounter would set off a chain of events that would change his life forever. The fallout. The door clicked shut behind Mr. Lawson and Goldie, leaving Jayden standing in the empty living room, still feeling the warmth of the encounter. A sense of fulfillment washed over him, but it was quickly overshadowed by a lingering sense of unease. The police officer's unexpected visit had rattled him. Although the situation had resolved, the fact that he had been accused of theft left a knot in his stomach. Would anyone believe him if he ever found himself in a similar situation again? Jayden shook his head, trying to dispel the negative thoughts. He reminded himself that he had done the right thing, that he had acted out of kindness. He looked around his home, at the framed photographs and the cozy surroundings, and felt the love and support of his mother enveloping him. Still, doubt crept in. He wondered if the whole experience would affect how people perceived him in their neighborhood. That evening, after the whirlwind of events had settled, Jayden sat on the porch with his mother. Denise had returned home from work, her face tired but brightening when she saw him. "Hey, how did it go with Goldie's owner?" she asked, pouring herself a glass of lemonade and handing him one as well. "It was intense," Jayden replied, the words tumbling out. "I thought the officer was going to accuse me of stealing Goldie. It was so scary, Mom." Denise placed her hand on his shoulder. "You did the right thing by returning the dog. Sometimes people jump to conclusions. It's unfortunate, but it happens. You can't control how others react." Jayden nodded, taking a sip of lemonade. "I know. It's just frustrating. I was only trying to help. People need to be reminded that kindness exists," Denise said, her voice firm. "You were brave, and I'm proud of you. Remember that." The weight of her words comforted him, but Jayden couldn't shake the feeling that this incident had left a mark. The next day, he returned to school, hoping to focus on his studies and move past the incident. However, as he walked through the hallways, he felt a wave of whispers and sideways glances. Rumors had already started to circulate. "Did you hear about that kid who stole a dog?" one student remarked as Jayden passed by. Another chimed in, "Yeah, I heard he got caught by the cops." Jayden's heart sank. How could they twist the story like that? He wanted to shout that he hadn't stolen anything, that he had done the right thing. But instead, he kept his head down and walked faster. He felt the stares of his peers, the judgment in their eyes, and it was suffocating. His best friend, Marcus, caught up with him after homeroom. "Hey man, I heard what happened. Are you okay?" Jayden looked up, grateful for Marcus's support. "Not really. Everyone thinks I'm some kind of criminal. It's so stupid. I wish I could just go back to being invisible." "Don't let them get to you," Marcus said, his tone serious. "People will talk no matter what. The important thing is that you know the truth." Jayden appreciated his friend's words, but still felt the sting of betrayal. He had always tried to do the right thing, to be a good person, and now it felt like it had backfired. The day dragged on, and by lunchtime, Jayden had retreated to a quiet corner of the cafeteria, feeling the weight of isolation. As he picked at his food, he noticed a group of students at the next table laughing and pointing. He could feel their eyes on him, and it made his stomach churn. "Look, it's the dog thief," one of them shouted, prompting laughter from the others. Jayden's face flushed with embarrassment. Anger simmered within him, but he knew better than to react. Instead, he pushed his plate away and left the cafeteria, not wanting to give them the satisfaction of seeing him upset. He spent the rest of the day hiding in the library, surrounded by stacks of books. It was his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the noise and judgment of the world. He immersed himself in his studies, letting the pages of his textbooks transport him to a different realm. But as much as he tried to lose himself in academics, the whispering echoes of his classmates haunted him. When the final bell rang, Jayden felt a mixture of relief and dread. He headed home, contemplating whether he should even tell his mother about the teasing. He didn't want to burden her, especially after all the hard work she put in to provide for them. That evening, Jayden sat in his room, feeling more isolated than ever. His phone buzzed with notifications, but he ignored them. He wanted nothing to do with social media or the rumors swirling around him. Instead, he picked up a sketchbook and began to draw, his pencil gliding across the paper as he lost himself in his imagination. After a while, he heard a knock on his door. It was Denise, her expression gentle and concerned. "Can I come in, sweetheart?" "Sure, Mom," Jayden replied, setting down his pencil. Denise entered and sat on the edge of his bed. "I wanted to check on you. I know today was rough." Jayden hesitated, but he finally let his guard down. "They're calling me a dog thief at school, Mom. They think I stole Goldie, and it hurts. I didn't do anything wrong." Denise reached out, taking his hand in hers. "I'm so sorry, Jayden. It's not fair, but remember, people often react out of fear or misunderstanding. You know the truth, and that's what matters most." Jayden felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes. "It's just so hard. I tried to help, and now I feel like everyone thinks I'm a bad person." "You're not a bad person," Denise said firmly. "You have a good heart, and you always have. The world needs more people like you. But sometimes, doing the right thing comes with challenges. Don't lose sight of who you are because of what others say." Her words resonated deep within him, but doubt still lingered. "What if it doesn't get better, Mom? What if this just follows me?" "We'll face it together," she reassured him, brushing a stray hair from his forehead. "You have me, and you have your friends. We can get through this. You can stand tall, and those who matter will see your true character." That night, Jayden lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. His mother's comforting words replayed in his mind, but the anxiety of being judged weighed heavily on him. He wanted to believe that things would change, but uncertainty loomed over him like a dark cloud. The next day, he returned to school, determined to push through the negativity. He focused on his classes, engaging in discussions, and trying to avoid the whispers. But despite his best efforts, the taunting continued. It seemed that everyone was more interested in the gossip than the truth. After a few days of enduring the torment, Jayden reached a breaking point. It was lunchtime again, and as he sat alone, the laughter from the other table felt like daggers. He couldn't take it anymore. He stood up and cleared his throat, his heart racing. "Hey, everyone," Jayden called out, surprising even himself. "I want to set the record straight about what happened with Goldie. I found him lost and took care of him until I could return him to his owner. I didn't steal anything." The cafeteria fell silent, eyes turning toward him. Some looked shocked, while others whispered among themselves. But Jayden didn't care. He felt a surge of courage swelling within him. "If you can't see that I was just trying to help, then that's on you. I'm proud of what I did, and I won't let anyone make me feel bad about it." With that, he turned and walked out of the cafeteria, leaving behind the stunned silence. As he stepped outside into the crisp air, he felt lighter. It was liberating to voice his truth, to stand firm in the face of adversity. He didn't know what would come next, but he was determined to keep moving forward. That afternoon, as Jayden walked home, he noticed a familiar figure approaching him. It was Mr. Lawson. "Jayden," Mr. Lawson called, waving him down. "I wanted to thank you again for everything you did for Goldie." "Of course, sir. I just wanted to help," Jayden replied, a little surprised by the man's sudden appearance. "I've been hearing some things at the local community center," Mr. Lawson said, his expression shifting to one of concern. "I want you to know that I spoke to some people about your situation. I told them what really happened, and I hope it helps clear your name." Jayden felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. "Thank you so much, Mr. Lawson. I really appreciate it. I didn't expect that. I believe in standing up for what's right, just like you did," Mr. Lawson replied. "It's important to advocate for the truth, especially when others don't see it." As they talked, Jayden felt a new sense of hope. Maybe the truth would eventually win out, and the community would see him for who he truly was. Maybe he could turn this difficult experience into something positive, a chance to inspire others to stand up for kindness and honesty. After parting ways with Mr. Lawson, Jayden felt rejuvenated. He realized that despite the challenges he faced, there were still people who believed in him and his actions. With renewed determination, he headed home, ready to embrace whatever came next. The journey ahead might be difficult, but Jayden knew he had the strength to navigate it. He would rise above the rumors, guided by his values and the support of those who truly mattered in his life. The turning point. As the days turned into weeks, the weight of the rumors began to lift. But the experience left Jayden with a newfound resilience. He learned to focus on the positive aspects of his life, rather than the negativity swirling around him. With the support of his mother and the encouragement from Mr. Lawson, Jayden set his sights on his studies and extracurricular activities, eager to reclaim his sense of normalcy. His friends rallied around him, reaffirming their loyalty. Marcus, in particular, became a steadfast ally. "Hey, Jayden, we're all going to the basketball game this Friday. You should come with us," he suggested one afternoon after school. Jayden hesitated, memories of the cafeteria teasing flooding back. "I don't know, man. What if people are still talking about it? Forget what they say. Just come and enjoy the game. We're all going to have a great time, and I promise you'll feel better," Marcus insisted, his enthusiasm infectious. After a moment of thought, Jayden agreed. "All right, I'll go, just to support the team." At Friday evening, the gymnasium was alive with energy. The scent of popcorn wafted through the air, and the sound of sneakers squeaking against the polished wooden floor filled the atmosphere. Jayden felt a mix of excitement and nerves as he entered the crowded space, his heart pounding with anticipation. He spotted Marcus and a few other friends at the front row, waving him over. As he made his way through the throng of people, he could feel the familiar eyes watching him, the hushed whispers still echoing in his mind. But as he reached his friends, they welcomed him with open arms, pulling him into their circle. "See, this is where you belong," Marcus exclaimed, clapping Jayden on the back. "Now, let's cheer on our team." Jayden couldn't help but smile. The camaraderie surrounding him slowly dissolved the tension he had been carrying. As the game began, he joined in the chants, feeling a sense of belonging return. The thrill of competition electrified the air, and for the first time in weeks, Jayden felt alive and free from the burdens of judgment. As the final whistle blew and the home team emerged victorious, the crowd erupted into cheers. Jayden joined in, reveling in the joyous atmosphere. It was a beautiful reminder of how sports could unite people, fostering friendships and igniting passion. After the game, while they celebrated, Jayden spotted Mr. Lawson in the stands, chatting with some of the parents. The man caught his eye and waved, a warm smile spreading across his face. Jaden felt a rush of gratitude and admiration for him. It was reassuring to know that someone believed in him and had gone out of his way to support him. As the weeks progressed, Jaden found himself flourishing in the supportive environment created by his friends and family. He became more involved in school activities, joining the science club, and volunteering for community service projects. His confidence grew as he realized the impact he could have on those around him, even in small ways. One afternoon, during a science club meeting, Jaden's teacher announced an upcoming science fair. "I want you all to brainstorm innovative ideas for your projects. This is your chance to showcase your creativity," she encouraged, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Jaden felt a spark of inspiration igniting within him. "What if I create a project focusing on animal welfare?" he proposed. "I could develop a plan to help lost pets in our community, maybe even create a partnership with local shelters." His classmates exchanged excited glances, and Marcus chimed in. "That sounds amazing, Jaden. We could set up a system for reporting lost pets and a way for people to adopt." With the encouragement of his peers, Jaden dove headfirst into the project. He dedicated evenings to researching animal welfare, reaching out to local shelters, and drafting proposals. His passion for the subject fueled his determination to make a difference, turning his previous challenges into motivation for his newfound purpose. As the science fair approached, Jaden felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. He spent countless hours perfecting his presentation, pouring his heart into the project that represented not only his love for animals, but also his commitment to kindness and community. The day of the science fair arrived, and the school auditorium buzzed with excitement. Students showcased their projects, from solar-powered devices to creative recycling initiatives. Jaden stood beside his booth, nervous but proud of what he had created. As parents, teachers, and fellow students wandered by, Jaden explained his project, detailing the importance of helping lost pets and how the community could come together to support local shelters. To his delight, many people engaged with his ideas, asking questions and showing genuine interest. When the time came for the judges to evaluate the projects, Jaden's heart raced. He felt a mixture of hope and anxiety, wishing that all his hard work would pay off. Later that evening, the judges announced the winners. Jaden's project received accolades for its creativity and social impact. As the applause echoed around him, he felt a wave of joy wash over him. This was a turning point in his journey, a validation of his efforts and resilience. After the award ceremony, Mr. Lawson approached him, a proud smile plastered on his face. "Congratulations, Jaden. Your project was impressive, and it shows how much you care about making a difference." "Thank you, Mr. Lawson," Jaden replied, his heart swelling with pride. "Your support means a lot to me. I really appreciate you believing in me through all this." "Always," Mr. Lawson affirmed. "It's important to champion those who do good in the world, and you're a shining example." With newfound confidence, Jaden realized that he could redefine his narrative. He wouldn't let the rumors or negativity hold him back. Instead, he would use his experiences to fuel his desire to help others. As the weeks continued to unfold, Jaden kept pursuing his project, working with local shelters and engaging with community members. He organized adoption drives and created awareness campaigns about responsible pet ownership. Each event brought people together, and Jaden's heart swelled with fulfillment. Through his efforts, he began to build connections in the community. Neighbors who had previously looked at him with skepticism started approaching him to lend their support. It felt empowering to be viewed as a positive force, someone who contributed rather than merely endured. One evening, as he was finalizing plans for an upcoming adoption event, he received a phone call from Mr. Lawson. "Jaden, I have some exciting news," Mr. Lawson exclaimed. "Goldie and my son, Liam, want to come visit you this weekend. Liam has been asking about you ever since we got Goldie back." Jaden felt a rush of joy. That would be amazing. I'd love to see Goldie again and meet Liam. As the weekend approached, Jaden eagerly prepared for their visit. He set up a small space in the backyard for the dogs to play, excited to see the joyful reunion. When Saturday arrived, he could barely contain his excitement. As Mr. Lawson and Liam arrived, Jaden felt a sense of warmth enveloping him. Goldie leaped out of the car, tail wagging furiously. The golden retriever rushed toward Jaden, showering him with kisses, and Jaden couldn't help but laugh, feeling his heart swell with happiness. "Thanks for having us, Jaden," Liam said, beaming with excitement as he stepped out of the car. He was a few years younger than Jaden, with an infectious smile and bright eyes. "Of course. I'm so glad you guys could come," Jaden replied, his nerves fading as they all settled into a comfortable atmosphere. The afternoon turned into a joyous occasion filled with laughter and play. Jaden, Liam, and Goldie spent hours in the backyard, throwing a frisbee and playing games. Jaden shared stories about his experiences with the community and how Goldie had inspired him to create his animal welfare project. Liam listened intently, admiration shining in his eyes. "You're a hero, Jaden. I want to help too. Can I join you in your next adoption event?" "Absolutely," Jaden replied, feeling a sense of pride wash over him. "We could use all the help we can get." As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue across the backyard, Jaden felt a profound sense of belonging. He had not only found purpose in helping others, but had also formed meaningful connections with people who appreciated his efforts. Mr. Lawson approached them, a satisfied grin on his face. "You two make quite the team. I can see how much joy Goldie brings to your lives." "Yeah, he's the best," Liam exclaimed, scratching Goldie behind the ears. Jaden nodded, his heart full. And it's amazing how one act of kindness can lead to so many new opportunities. As the day wound down, Jaden realized that he had transformed the challenges he faced into a powerful narrative of resilience, support, and community. He had taken control of his story, turning it into one of hope and inspiration. Little did he know that this journey was only just beginning. The experiences he had endured would continue to shape him, pushing him toward new heights and allowing him to touch the lives of others along the way. As he prepared for the future, he felt empowered and ready to face whatever challenges came his way, knowing that he had the strength to overcome them and the support of those who believed in him. Building bridges. With the spring semester in full swing, Jaden found himself immersed in a whirlwind of activities. The success of the science fair project had ignited a passion within him that he had never fully realized before. As he continued to organize adoption drives and community outreach initiatives, he also developed a deeper understanding of the challenges faced by animals in need and the importance of responsible pet ownership. One afternoon, while preparing for the next adoption event, Jaden received a call from Mr. Lawson. "Jaden, I was speaking with some friends in the community, and we have an idea we think could really help raise awareness about animal welfare. Are you interested in collaborating on a larger project?" Jaden's heart raced with excitement. "Absolutely. What do you have in mind?" "We're thinking of organizing a community festival focused on animal welfare. We could have booths for local shelters, activities for families, and maybe even guest speakers to discuss responsible pet ownership," Mr. Lawson explained. "That sounds incredible. We could really make a difference," Jaden replied, his mind buzzing with possibilities. "Let's meet this weekend to brainstorm some ideas and start planning," Mr. Lawson suggested. The meeting was set for Saturday morning, and Jaden spent the rest of the week poring over plans for the festival. He created a list of potential activities, including a pet costume contest, a dog training demonstration, and even a section where families could learn about the responsibilities of pet ownership. When Saturday arrived, Jaden arrived at Mr. Lawson's house, brimming with enthusiasm. He knocked on the door, and Mr. Lawson greeted him with a warm smile, inviting him inside. "Liam is excited to help out too. We have some great ideas brewing," Mr. Lawson said as they made their way to the dining room, where a large whiteboard stood, ready to be filled with plans. "Let's do this," Jaden exclaimed, picking up a marker and starting to jot down ideas. Liam bounded into the room, eyes wide with anticipation. "Can we have a section for kids to make their own pet toys?" Liam suggested, bouncing on his heels. "That way they can learn how to care for animals while having fun." "Great idea, Liam," Jaden replied, already envisioning the space filled with laughter as kids created their toys. They continued brainstorming, and as the hours passed, their ideas grew into a full-fledged festival plan. By the end of their meeting, they had a comprehensive outline of activities and outreach strategies. Jaden felt a surge of pride, realizing how far he had come since that fateful day when he returned Goldie to Mr. Lawson. This project would not only strengthen his bond with the community, but also promote a message of compassion and responsibility. The following weeks were a blur of activity as they organized the festival. Jaden reached out to local shelters, businesses, and community organizations to gather support. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Everyone was eager to contribute to a cause that meant so much to them. As the day of the festival approached, Jaden's excitement grew, but so did his anxiety. He wanted everything to be perfect. On the morning of the event, he woke up early, the sunlight streaming through his window, illuminating his room. After a quick breakfast, he donned a t-shirt emblazoned with a catchy slogan, "Adopt, don't shop." At the festival site, the atmosphere was electric. Colorful banners flapped in the breeze, and booths were set up along the park's grassy expanse. Jaden could feel the buzz of excitement as families began to trickle in. "Jaden, over here," Marcus called, waving him over. "Everything looks amazing," Jaden exclaimed as he took in the scene. The day kicked off with a warm welcome from Mr. Lawson, who spoke passionately about the importance of animal welfare and community involvement. Jaden felt a surge of pride as he stood beside him, knowing that their hard work had led to this moment. As the festival unfolded, Jaden roamed the park, engaging with attendees and helping out wherever needed. He facilitated activities, encouraged families to adopt pets, and shared information about responsible pet care. The pet costume contest was a hit, with dogs dressed as superheroes and princesses prancing around, much to the delight of the crowd. As the afternoon sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the park, Jaden noticed a familiar face in the crowd. It was Officer Harris, the police officer who had visited him months ago. Jaden felt a mix of surprise and apprehension as he approached the officer, remembering their earlier encounter. "Officer Harris," Jaden called out, trying to gauge the officer's mood. "Thanks for coming to the festival." The officer smiled warmly, his demeanor far more approachable than Jaden remembered. "It's my pleasure, Jaden. I heard about the event and wanted to support it. I must admit, I was wrong about you. You're doing incredible things for your community." Jaden's heart swelled with gratitude. "Thank you, officer. I appreciate that. It means a lot to have your support." As the day progressed, Jaden continued to interact with festival goers, sharing his passion for animal welfare and connecting with families. He felt a sense of belonging and purpose that had been absent for too long. The laughter of children, the wagging tails of happy dogs, and the smiles of community members filled the park, creating a beautiful tapestry of joy. Later, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the festival, Jaden took a moment to step back and reflect. He stood at the edge of the park, watching families gather around a booth where local shelter representatives shared heartwarming stories about their rescued animals. It was a reminder of how far he had come since that day he found Goldie on the street. As the festival drew to a close, Jaden felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had managed to raise awareness and support for animal welfare, and he had forged new friendships and connections that would last a lifetime. When it was time to pack up, Jaden found himself surrounded by his friends, family, and community members who had come together for a common cause. They shared stories and laughter as they dismantled booths and collected supplies, but amidst the chaos, Jaden felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. As they prepared to leave, Mr. Lawson approached Jayden, a proud smile on his face. "You did an incredible job, Jayden. The festival was a success because of your vision and hard work." Jayden beamed at the compliment. "I couldn't have done it without your support and everyone else who helped out. It feels amazing to see our community come together." "Absolutely. This is just the beginning," Mr. Lawson said, a glint of determination in his eyes. "Let's keep this momentum going and plan more events in the future. Your passion is contagious, and we can make a real difference." Jayden nodded, feeling a rush of excitement at the prospect of continuing their efforts. He knew that this experience had not only helped him heal from the turmoil of the past, but had also ignited a flame of advocacy within him that he was eager to nurture. As they drove home, the sunset painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, a beautiful reminder of the day's accomplishments. Jayden looked out the window, reflecting on his journey. He had faced adversity, navigated misunderstandings, and emerged stronger, more determined than ever to create positive change in the world. The next day, Jayden sat down with his mother, sharing the highlights of the festival and the amazing connections he had made. Denise listened intently, her eyes shining with pride. "I'm so proud of you, Jayden. You've turned a difficult situation into something beautiful. You're not just making a difference in your own life. You're impacting the lives of others." "Thanks, Mom. It feels good to give back and be part of something bigger," Jayden replied, a sense of purpose filling his heart. As he lay in bed that night, Jayden thought about all the lessons he had learned. He realized that life's challenges could be transformed into opportunities for growth and connection. He was determined to continue advocating for kindness and compassion, not just for animals but for everyone around him. With a newfound sense of purpose, Jayden drifted off to sleep, dreaming of future endeavors where he could make a difference, fueled by the love and support of those who believed in him. The journey ahead was bright, and he was ready to embrace it, one step at a time. A new dawn. As summer approached, Jayden's passion for animal welfare had only intensified. The community festival had not only brought the town together, but had also sparked conversations about the importance of kindness and responsibility. Inspired by the success of their efforts, Jayden and Mr. Lawson decided to establish a regular outreach program dedicated to animal welfare education and support. They named it Positive Impact. The program aimed to engage local youth in volunteering opportunities, workshops, and awareness campaigns about responsible pet ownership, rescue efforts, and the significance of adopting pets from shelters. Jayden was thrilled at the prospect of leading the initiative, and together with Mr. Lawson, they mapped out a plan for the summer. Over the next few weeks, Jayden worked tirelessly to set up meetings with local shelters, community centers, and schools to promote the program. He wanted to create a platform that would empower young people to become advocates for animals, just as he had become. Each day, he drafted flyers, created social media posts, and reached out to local news outlets to spread the word about Positive Impact. One afternoon, as Jayden sat in his room, he received a message from a local newspaper reporter who had seen their social media posts. "Hi, Jayden. I'd love to interview you about your initiative. Your festival sounds inspiring, and I think our readers would be interested in what you're doing. Let me know if you're available." Jayden felt a rush of excitement mixed with nervousness. "Absolutely. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'd be happy to share our story." The interview was scheduled for the following week, and Jayden spent the days leading up to it preparing what he wanted to say. He practiced in front of the mirror, focusing on how to convey his passion and the goals of the program. He wanted to ensure that the community understood that Positive Impact was not just about animals. It was about cultivating empathy and responsibility in future generations. On the day of the interview, Jayden arrived at the local cafe where the reporter had suggested meeting. He wore his favorite Adopt, Don't Shop t-shirt and felt a mix of anticipation and nerves. As he entered, he spotted the reporter, a woman in her late 20s with a friendly smile, setting up her camera. "Hi, Jaden. Thanks for meeting me today. I've heard wonderful things about your work," she said as she extended her hand. "Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to share what we've been doing," Jaden replied, feeling a surge of confidence. As the interview progressed, Jaden spoke passionately about Positive Impact, the community festival, and the importance of animal welfare. The reporter nodded, encouraging him to share more. Jaden explained how the program aimed to educate young people about caring for pets, the significance of adoption, and how everyone could contribute to creating a compassionate community. When the interview wrapped up, the reporter thanked him for his time and promised to write an article that would highlight their efforts. Jaden left the cafe, feeling exhilarated. He knew that sharing his story could inspire others to get involved and join the movement for animal welfare. As the summer continued, the program gained traction. Jaden organized weekly workshops for local youth, inviting guest speakers from animal shelters and veterinarians to educate the community on various topics. He created engaging activities like crafting pet toys from recycled materials and organizing dog training demonstrations. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Kids and teens eagerly participated, and word of mouth spread throughout the neighborhood. One day, while preparing for a workshop, Jaden received a message from Marcus. "Hey, man. Some friends and I are thinking about starting a fundraiser to help support Positive Impact. Want to join forces?" Jaden was thrilled. "Absolutely. Let's brainstorm some ideas. We could do a bake sale, a car wash, or even a mini pet fair." "Sounds great. Let's meet up this weekend and plan everything out," Marcus replied. They spent the weekend crafting ideas, and soon they decided on a bark and bake event, where they would sell baked goods and offer pet treats while encouraging attendees to bring their pets for a fun-filled day. Jaden felt excited about the opportunity to involve the community further and raised funds for their program. The day of the Bark and Bake event arrived, and Jaden could hardly contain his excitement. As the sun rose over the horizon, he set up tables filled with delicious homemade cookies, cakes, and pet treats. Colorful signs decorated the area, inviting families and their furry companions to join the festivities. As the event kicked off, families began to arrive, and the park was alive with laughter and barking. Children played with their pets, and the smell of freshly baked goods filled the air. Jaden and Marcus moved from table to table, selling treats and engaging with attendees, explaining their mission and encouraging everyone to support Positive Impact. Halfway through the event, Jaden noticed a woman walking toward their booth with her small, scruffy dog. She looked hesitant, glancing at the treats before approaching. "Hi there. I've heard about your program. It's so great to see young people getting involved in animal welfare," she said, her voice warm and inviting. "Thank you. We're passionate about making a difference in our community," Jaden replied, feeling proud. As they chatted, Jaden learned that the woman, named Mrs. Henderson, was a retired veterinarian who had dedicated her life to animal care. "I'd love to get involved and share some of my experiences," she offered. Jaden's eyes lit up. "That would be amazing. We're always looking for knowledgeable speakers for our workshops. You could help educate the kids on responsible pet ownership." "Absolutely. I'd be thrilled to help out," Mrs. Henderson agreed, her enthusiasm evident. The two exchanged contact information, and Jaden felt elated. This encounter could lead to invaluable insights for the program and deepen the community's understanding of pet care. As the day progressed, Jaden felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The event had raised a significant amount of money, and the community's support was overwhelming. They had successfully bridged connections with new allies, and Positive Impact was gaining momentum. Weeks turned into months, and the program continued to thrive. Jaden found himself becoming a local advocate for animal welfare, and he relished the opportunity to inspire others. His passion translated into a series of successful workshops, community events, and fundraising initiatives. With the start of the school year approaching, Jaden began to think about how he could integrate positive impact into the local high school. He reached out to the school administration, proposing an after-school club dedicated to animal welfare. After presenting his ideas and sharing the success of their community events, the school enthusiastically agreed to support the initiative. With the new school year underway, Jaden launched the club with the help of Marcus and a few other friends. They organized their first meeting, inviting students to join and learn more about responsible pet ownership, volunteering opportunities, and upcoming community projects. The turnout exceeded their expectations. Students from different grades showed up, eager to contribute to the cause. Jaden felt invigorated as he shared his vision for the club, explaining how they could create a positive impact on the community while fostering a love for animals. As the weeks passed, the club flourished. Jaden and his peers organized outreach events, pet adoption days, and fundraising drives for local shelters. The energy was contagious, and students began to develop a sense of ownership over the projects they were involved in. During one of the club meetings, Jaden noticed a new member, a shy girl named Mia, who sat quietly in the back. After a few weeks, Jaden approached her. "Hey, Mia, I've noticed you've been really quiet. Do you want to share any ideas for our next project?" Mia looked surprised but slowly nodded. "I've been thinking about organizing a volunteer day at the shelter. I used to volunteer there before I moved here." "That's a fantastic idea. We should definitely do that," Jaden exclaimed. "How about you help lead the effort? Your experience would be invaluable to the group." Mia's face lit up with a smile. "Really? I'd love to." With Mia leading the charge, the club coordinated a volunteer day at the local shelter. Members signed up to help with cleaning, feeding the animals, and assisting with adoptions. The day was a resounding success, and Jaden felt a deep sense of pride as he watched his peers bond over their shared love for animals and their commitment to making a difference. As the months rolled on, positive impact became a fixture in the community. Their initiatives reached far beyond just animal welfare. They fostered a sense of belonging and purpose among the youth involved. The program had transformed into a support network for its members, where they could connect, collaborate, and share their passions. One day, Jaden received a message from Mr. Lawson inviting him to attend a community meeting. "We're discussing how to further expand the outreach programs in our town, and I'd love for you to share your experiences with positive impact." Feeling honored, Jaden prepared a presentation, eager to share the success stories and lessons learned from his journey. The meeting was filled with local leaders, educators, and community members eager to discuss ways to enhance their outreach efforts. When it was his turn to speak, Jaden stood confidently at the podium. "Thank you for allowing me to share our initiative," he began, his voice steady. Positive Impact started as a simple idea to promote animal welfare, but it has grown into so much more. We've created a platform for young people to engage with their community, develop leadership skills, and advocate for compassion and responsibility. As he spoke, Jaden shared stories of the volunteers who had found their passion through the program, highlighting the connections formed and the lives changed. He emphasized the importance of kindness and collaboration, inspiring others to take action in their own communities. After his presentation, the room erupted in applause. Mr. Lawson beamed with pride as he approached Jaden. "You did an amazing job. Your passion is truly inspiring." Feeling a sense of fulfillment, Jaden smiled. "Thank you, Mr. Lawson. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here." As the meeting concluded, Jaden felt a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that his journey was far from over. The lessons he had learned and the connections he had made were only the beginning of a much larger mission. He was committed to continuing his work for animal welfare and using his voice to advocate for change. In the months that followed, Jaden collaborated with local businesses, schools, and organizations to expand positive impact. They initiated new programs, including pet therapy sessions for children, with special needs and educational workshops in schools to promote empathy and kindness. Jayden's dedication did not go unnoticed. He was awarded the Youth Advocate of the Year by a local nonprofit organization. The recognition filled him with a sense of accomplishment, but he remained humble, attributing the success to the community that had supported him from the beginning. As he stood on the stage accepting the award, he looked out at the crowd and spoke from his heart. "This award isn't just for me. It's for every young person who has stepped up to make a difference in our community. Together, we can create a world filled with compassion and understanding." As he concluded his speech, he felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. The journey had been challenging, filled with moments of doubt and uncertainty, but it had also been incredibly rewarding. Jayden realized that by choosing to follow his passion and stand up for what he believed in, he had inspired others to do the same. Reflecting on his experiences, Jayden understood that the key to creating change lay not only in his actions, but in his ability to inspire and uplift others. He was determined to continue advocating for animal welfare and empowering young people to find their voices. As he left the stage, surrounded by friends and supporters, Jayden felt a sense of belonging and purpose that he had longed for throughout his life. He had transformed his passion into a movement that resonated deeply within the community. With the sun setting in the distance, painting the sky in vibrant colors, Jayden knew that this was just the beginning. He was excited about the future, ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. With newfound determination and a heart full of hope, Jayden vowed to keep fighting for animals, advocating for kindness, and empowering the next generation of compassionate leaders. He understood that no matter where his journey took him, he would always carry the lessons learned and the love for his community in his heart. As he walked home that evening, Jayden felt a profound sense of gratitude. He was thankful for the journey that had shaped him, the people who had supported him, and the countless lives he had touched along the way. He knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be, on a path toward making a lasting impact and inspiring others to do the same. And with that thought, Jayden smiled, ready to embrace whatever challenges and triumphs the future held.